The Rosen Report, sports like never before. Brought to you by Gouche Live and Paramount Sports Management. Here's Rosie.
I'm the better looking version of Rosie. Hey, listen, everybody that's coming to Rosen Report. Rosie's not feeling well today, so he's asked me to step in. I know I'm going to have big shoes to fill, but I think I can do it. Rosie, we wish you better. We hope that you feel better in a couple of days. Hey, listen, it's been brought to you by the good people at the Hockey News and Sports Illustrated. I've got my good producer, Jordan Laroche, back from Vancouver, and we're going to get right into it right now. And you know what? You're a lucky day, because Lucky's going to join us on the Rosen Report featuring the Gouche and Jordan Laroche.
Hey, Gooch. Oh, not sure what happened there.
Hey, you're supposed to say I'm Rosie.
Sorry. Oh, sorry, Paul.
People are really confused. Hey, listen, Paul's not feeling well today. That's all right. We stepped in as he would step in for us when we don't feel well. So we're really excited about presenting the Rosen Report right here on Gouche Live Productions. As we know, we've changed some things. More things are coming along. We've got Gouche Live Production. We've got it on Facebook and YouTube. You've done a great job getting that all set up. Anything else exciting that you want to tell us about?
We have a new show coming up in the near future, and things are starting to look up for Gouche Live Productions. This new Facebook page kind of helps us kind of bring everything in and have one central hub where instead of going to 4 or 5 different Facebook pages, you can catch it all in one. So it makes life a little bit easier for all of us.
Hey, and today we got off a call. We will be joining the Fired Up Network. You're going to be producing the show that's going to start on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Paul will be with us. There'll be a lot of great guests. I know Scott Holler will be with it. You'll be producing the show. You've lived through the concussions. You'll be throwing out some of the concepts of what you live with throughout that concussion, so people will get a really good understanding. As Paul and I have both lived through it, we'll get a really good understanding of what a concussion is, how to deal with it, how to get it properly diagnosed, as it took you a while. Once you met Scott, it helped you get through some of those dark times. So we're really excited about that, and thank you for helping me do that. And I look forward to having Paul back, and we can talk about his concussions. I'm not sure that's something you should be excited about. We'll do it anyways. Hey, let's get right into it. We got some great stuff. UFA's left. We got David Krejci. Why isn't he gone yet?
He's 36 now. He's kind of in the limelight of his career, and people don't really want. It's hard. It's hard for a team to take a risk on a guy that old, especially when
Ovechkin 9.5 mil a year.
I mean, Ovechkin's production hasn't really fallen off though, whereas Krejci's has a little bit. But I think he'd still be a good second line, third line center, and anyone that's lucky to get him.
I'd like him. Hey, Kyle Palmieri, we know he didn't have such a great start in his new uniform. Had a pretty good playoff. Why isn't he moved?
Again, the age factor is starting to settle in with a lot of these teams. We're kind of seeing that, especially with Arizona, where they're just selling house right now. So these teams want younger guys in their rosters, and it's a current trend with a lot of the guys that are UFAs right now.
Right, of course. And we know that this league has got younger, faster, stronger. So us aged players, we know that our time is coming. And I think the 35 mark is probably where you're starting to look and realize you may be out of a job. Tuukka Rask, obviously he's going to have an operation over his injuries. Who's going to sign him? I would not be signing him right now. We don't know what will happen with that operation.
They're signing right now, he's going to be out till at least January, and that's too long of a stretch for you not to have your number one goalie there. So that's why Boston brought in Linus Ullmark. So it's kind of the writing's on the wall, I think, for Tuukka Rask. He's out of Boston right now.
Thomas Tatar, it looks like he's going to leave because we just realized Corey Perry's gone.
Yeah, I mean, the Corey Perry one actually surprised me a lot. I think of all teams, I'd expect him to go to Tampa Bay. But for Tatar, again, he was scratched all playoffs. It wasn't an injury that was keeping him out. He was scratched. So it was clear Montreal kind of fell out of favor with him. And a lot of that was his D-zone presence. He wasn't that particularly good in the defensive zone, which is why he was scratched and why he's a free agent right now.
Suter goes to Dallas. His buddy Zach Parise, still nothing there.
Yeah, again, it's just the age thing kind of playing. And same thing with Casey Zizekas, who's a free agent right now as well. Just guys who don't really have what they used to, and the league's kind of fallen out of favor of those old tough guys, right?
Yeah, of course. Hey, listen, Leafs have $3.5 million in cap space. Elliot Friedman's holding its cap space. They're holding it for a forward. What's going on with Joe Thornton? Well, we can ask, obviously, the Leafs expert. Lucky when he comes up here, he'll probably be yelling and screaming all about the Hyman situation. But why are they holding on? Why would they not jump at it with all these great players?
I think that they missed their chance to get a kind of a big fish in the free agent pool. But Thomas Tatar would be a good spot for that. Maybe even a Zach Parise, kind of bringing a little more experience there. I mean, they also did that last year and it didn't really work out for them. But
right.
I think I don't really know who they'll go for. Maybe they'll go for a few guys, but they're really strapped for cap right now.
Well, of course, losing Hyman and the number he got's ridiculous, but they couldn't keep him there. Obviously, they want to fill that void. That's a pretty tough void to fill because I really like the way he played in Toronto uniform. Hey, listen, obviously there's a trade for a goaltender in Colorado. They needed one. We were talking about that earlier of how, whoa, you know what? They don't have a goaltender signed. And everybody was kind of panicking. But boy, they stepped in and got the guy that I think can step in and be there for Colorado.
I think this is the right guy to get. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I really like Philip Grubauer. I just don't think I kind of put him on the same level as Frederik Andersen. Like really good in the regular season, has never been able to really get it done in the playoffs. So Darcy Kemper, who's been one of the best goalies in the league over the last few years, I think you can't really go wrong with him. And this Colorado team is going to be really scary next year.
Yes,
getting Landeskog back when it looked like he was going to walk and become a free agent. That's huge for this team.
Yeah, so I think they're back on track. We were concerned about that, right? We were talking about if they lose Landeskog and, of course, the goaltending situation. Nobody thought Grubauer was gone. Then all of a sudden they signed Landeskog. Now what do they do with goalie? They have solved that issue. But then comes what is Coyotes going to do for a partner for Carter Hutton?
Yeah, there's a few teams that are still kind of up in the air with our goalie situation. I mean, Buffalo's fixed theirs last night with two signings that I don't love with Craig Anderson and Aaron Dell. Neither of them, I think, are number one goal in the NHL right now. So yeah. I think Buffalo is one of the teams that's trying to sell house. But Chicago, with Fleury kind of contemplating retirement now, they're still looking for a goalie. The Oilers were in on Darcy Kemper. They have Mike Smith right now. They just signed him up. Still, that's another toss-up situation. And then the Coyotes again. They don't have anyone right. They have Carter Hutton right now. He's not number one either. So they'll probably bring up Joseph Coronar, a young guy, unproven, but kind of give him his first shot in the league.
Well, I saw Aaron Dell play in San Jose a few times when I went out to see Brent Burns. Never really impressed me, so I don't think that's the answer, obviously, in Buffalo. But let's talk about the flop. Or the switch of goaltenders from Carolina to Toronto. Of course, we're talking about Mrazek. People are really praising this move. They really like it. I think he was a $3.8 million. He's not. Obviously Anderson was looking for $5 million. Gives him a little bit of space, as we see. $3.5 million. They can fool around and move it around. Maybe getting a top 6 forward in the Toronto Maple Leafs lineup. Your thoughts on Anderson going to Carolina? And, of course, our buddy Mrazek coming back to Toronto.
Yeah, the Leafs didn't have much money to spend on a goalie, and getting Mrazek was definitely the right move. He's not a $3.5 million goalie. I put him right up there with Anderson, right? Especially after the year he had. Yeah, he missed a lot of it to injury, but when he was asked to play, he came out, stood on his head, and I really like him. But for Carolina, it's a bit of a gamble just because they are a playoff-ready team, and they've done well in the playoffs. They looked good against Tampa. Tampa did beat them, but At the same time, like I just don't know if Freddie Anderson is going to be able to kind of get it together. Maybe it's Leafs issue and not his issue. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see about that.
Well, we also have to remember that Anderson has never really had much success with the playoffs. So I'm wondering if that's going to be a continuation of his career. Sometimes guys don't get over that. You know that. You're a goaltender. And we know there's money players, whether they're forwards, defensemen, or a goaltender. There are certain guys that just rise to that occasion. They love that pressure. Maybe going down to Carolina, he loses some of that media pressure that comes along with it in the fan base. You know, in Carolina, even though they're crazy fans, it's maybe you're not as much under the microscope there, so it may help. Hey, listen, the one signing, and I said he was a defenseman earlier, he's not. Jaden Schwartz, I like that signing in, obviously, Seattle. I think Seattle's done a great job in putting together a team that's going to be there at the start of the season that, like Ottawa, when you and I talked about it, we thought they may not make the playoffs, but they'd certainly beat some teams along the way, and they proved that. I think Seattle's going to surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, you got two good goalies there with Drieger and Grubauer now. Adding Jaden Schwartz is a huge play. They tried to get him in the expansion draft, but eventually they got the deal done. So I think Seattle comes out of this offseason looking pretty good. Again, they'll be that kind of spoiler team. So I'm excited to see them play.
Well, I know.
Actually, speaking of the Kraken, I bought this when I was on vacation as well.
Okay.
The Kraken hat.
Ooh. I know Tony wants me to order a Kraken jersey. We can't find one yet, but I will crack in that case. Hey, listen, obviously, it's been a busy couple of days, week have gone through. It's kind of silenced off a little bit. Any news out there? Anything that has caught your eye?
I mean, aside from Corey Perry, the Brandon Saad was signed by St. Louis, 5-year deal. St. Louis is kind of they're kind of falling out of playoff contention. It's been the team's really different from when they won the cup. You know, losing Pietrangelo, Bennington hasn't been what he was, and now losing Jaden Schwartz and Tarasenko with his injuries. It's just they're kind of falling out of favor, and I don't know if Brandon Saad was the right move. I think you got to go for younger guys. You got to go guys who are maybe a couple of prospects. They could have made a trade for that instead, but I don't think Brandon Saad was the right signing there.
Listen, if you just showed up to the Rosen Report, I am not Rosie. I'm the Gooch. Paul is taking a day off, having a little bit of health issues. He will be back on Saturday for a roundtable. And of course, Jordan, you're not Rosie either. 163 contracts were signed on free agency day. $785 million were doled out. That's a lot of money. And all 7 teams in Canada made moves either to free agent signings or trade or do both. Ethan Bear has gone to Carolina. I like this kid. There were rumors that he would maybe go into Montreal, obviously. But you like the kid he was traded for.
Who was he traded for again? Sorry.
Warren Fogle.
Yeah, Warren Fogle. I mean, he's another depth player, and you know he hasn't. He might get a 20 goal year at some point in his career, but you know it's just a good depth signing to have, and it's another guy who works hard. And there's like so many on that Carolina team that they all have a little bit of skill. So I do like the signing for them, and just bolster up that bottom 6 forward group that they have, which is where they really struggle.
What about this timing? I'm going to ask you about this one, and I know we'll get his thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, Lucky, what do you think of the Zach Hyman signing? 7-year deal, 5.5 AAV. Tell us what your thoughts are, and are you, as a diehard Leaf fan, are you upset, or are you closing the door behind Hyman and saying, good luck in Ottawa?
Are you out of your mind? Okay, Hyman
didn't go to Ottawa. He went to Edmonton.
Ottawa
pick up on that.
They sign him to this contract, and I don't blame Hyman one bit. You put him on the first line. Of course, he's going to have goals and assists. He's playing with Matthews and Marner and whatever else. Kadri's in Toronto. We play him with AHL players his whole career. He gets 60-some points. We trade him at $4.5 million a year. Fast forward, Hyman gets $5.5 million a year, and he's not even in the same ballpark as Kadri. And I'm not trying to say that because I know one or the other. The bottom line is this. Talent-wise, if you're playing him with McDavid and Drysdale, of course he's going to score points. I would score points. But to think that Hyman's a $5.5 million player is a joke. He's a solid third-line player, a grinder, an energy guy, great teammate, great for the community. But there isn't a hope in hell the Leafs know what they're doing. I mean, I would have let him go. I don't blame the Leafs one bit. You're not in the market. But what did we do? We lost. Look at the players we lost. Foligno, first-round draft pick, gone. Hyman, gone. Rosen, gone. Anderson, gone. What do we bring back? It's like they scraped the bottom of the barrel. Button. Like, what is this guy? He makes cinnamon buns? Never even heard of the guy. Like, what the hell are we doing here? Not one big-name player coming to the biggest market in the NHL, and we got crap to show for the draft.
Whoa, slow down there.
Oh, my God.
You got to cut down the trees because the satellite dishes are not coming in.
The satellite's fine.
You didn't get the breaking news. Mrazek is in net.
Who?
Mrazek.
Where did he play? Carolina? Carolina let him walk.
Tell him, Jordan. Tell him who Mrazek is. Tell him, Jordan.
Yeah, tell him, Jordan. Mrazek. How do you spell Mrazek? Price. I would have gotten 100% got the Kraken to take Price, and then I would have worked a deal out with the Kraken to bring the number one goalie available in the market today to Toronto. I would have gave them Nylander and whoever else they wanted, and we would have had Carey Price. Toronto's too stupid for that.
Lucky, the only thing's cracking right now is your head.
Oh,
there's
my
no
God.
way.
How can you not be cracking 58 years or whatever?
Listen, Lucky, let Jordan really likes him as a goaltender. Let's hear his story.
He's a Czech guy. I think he's a top 10 goalie in the NHL. He had probably like 3 shutouts and like 15 starts last year. He's been injured. That's the only thing you have to be careful about. But I think he'll start 40, 50 games a year. Give Campbell the others. I think it's more as a duo than as a true number one. I love the signing, and you get him at 3.5.
Okay, are you done? All right, here's you go. He's playing in Carolina. They don't even know who he is. He could walk into Starbucks and they'll probably say, "Sir, can I help you? Like, are you here to sell us beans?" They don't know who he is. He could be making, he's with cinnamon bun there. Who knows? Whaley comes into the spotlight like Campbell. Campbell's going to fold like a cheap suitcase. Great guy, great player. I don't know what kind of anxiety pills he's on, but he's all stressed out when he loses. When is Toronto going to learn? You put too much money into the 4 guys. Tavares is on the back 9 of his career, believe it or not. He's only getting slower.
Marner.
Marner. I like Marner and I like Matthews. I don't got a problem with them. But you can't give $22 million to those 2 guys. Bring Tavares in at 11. Like McKinnon said, when he plays against Tavares, he slaps him on the butt and say, "Try to keep up, Johnny." Because that's what the problem is he's too slow.
And Lucky, you know why I know you're upset? Because if Ovechkin would have signed in Toronto, he would have been, I think, 5th on the salary list. 5th.
Who? Yeah.
Ovechkin.
Yeah, and how do we keep Nylander? How do we not make a deal for Eichel? How do all these defensemen change teams and we don't get any top guy? Our best guy is Riley, who's a third guy on any other team. And that's not a shot at Morgan Riley. He's not the number 1, but he's number 1 here. Now he's going to want $7 million. We're in a bad position, and we're in a bad position because of the bozos we got running the team that don't get it.
Jordan and we watched it very closely together. Holy cow, I'm loving Lucky's emotions. Hey, we watched Dubas say he's putting all the money on, hey, look, we should bet his house. We could actually move to his house. He loves his team. He loves what he's got.
He loves.
The signings that he's got.
The guy's like a Hare Krishna. He loves everything in life. Ooh, la, ooh, la, ooh, lula, lula. He's everything in life's rosy in his world. He wears those kaleidoscope eyes, and he keeps spinning them and seeing wonderful things. He's like he's on acid in the 60s. He's
Jordan,
finished.
put the disclaimer up. I don't think we'll get into a Leafs game this year.
Well, I don't care.
What
are we going to get into? Popcorn for $15, $40 for a beer, $75 to park your car, and the game's over in 10 minutes into the first.
But
you don't have to worry about playing for playoff tickets.
But the Leafs don't care. They
don't give a shit. We have more money. Thank God there's a cap. If there was no cap, we would win.
All right. Let me ask you this question. Jordan asked me this earlier, or I asked Jordan and he didn't have the answer.
What'd you do? Yell down the staircase? Okay, what? Go ahead.
George, Joe Thornton, what's going on?
Oh, buddy. Joe's like Santa Claus. He should come out once a year. Seriously, come on. Why are we getting all these guys at the end of their career? And then they put all this. Joe's a great guy in the room. He should be like the guy that does the equipment. Goes around and makes sure everybody's happy. Okay, you need a coffee. Great guy.
The greeter at Walmart.
Yeah, the greeter. Like nobody. He's great, but he's done. The guy couldn't keep up with a popsicle. It's melting. It's dripping. He couldn't get to the counter in time to get a bowl. It's over. When are we going to get – okay, we let Lou Amarillo go and we let Mark Hunter go. And we brought in Dumb and Dumber. And that's what's happening now. It's crazy. And I'm telling you, we're fed up. You come into free agency and the draft, and, we should have traded Nick Robertson. Because that's never going to happen. The guy's the size of one of those little wind-up toys. We got rid of all the grit we had. We got Tyson Barrie. He comes to Toronto and does a zilch show. He goes to Edmonton. He's the number one scorer in the league for a defenseman, and they only have to pay him $4.5 million. Yeah, number 2. Yeah,
Adam Falk is number 1.
Yeah,
don't forget it.
Yeah, and then Braden Point gets $76 million out of Tampa.
Lucky, I got a question.
Yeah,
if you're a Leafs fan,
right?
Are we in trouble? Because you've got
trouble.
Curtis
If I'm a Leafs fan, I've
Gabriel.
already put the other bullet in the shotgun. I'm telling you right now, we're shit.
Curtis Gabriel, he's a tough dude.
Who?
Nice guy.
Who?
Curtis Gabriel.
Oh, dude, he's great if he's working at a retirement home. We got nothing going on. Like, you guys can sit there. We can smoke and blow mirrors all day long. I'm going to tell you the prediction right now.
Okay.
As usual, 100, I will bet anybody right now, we are golfing in June once again. There's not a chance that we have a team tough enough to compete against the guys like Tampa. And Edmonton's only getting better. Vancouver's only getting better. Colorado's is really good. So
Montreal looks great.
Montreal looks great, But no, we sit there and we pull these little bozo deals. We look like clowns. Every other team in the league did something good, except us.
Breaking news.
We did nothing. Zilch. Nothing.
Breaking news, Lucky. Jordan, they also signed in Toronto. David Camp.
Who? Where's he work? The Boy Scout
much.
camp? Yeah. Exactly. This is what we don't understand, guys. We're not doing anything. Seriously, honest to God, we are screwed. We are so buried into that Matthews. You know what's going to happen? Matthews is going to laugh at us in 3 years. He's going to say, we didn't win shit with me. I'm out of here. I guarantee you he's gone. There's no hope in hell is he re-signing here. Wherever Justin Bieber lives, that's where he's moving.
All right.
I can't believe that we would get all hyped up for the draft and then free agency, and we did nothing better than sign a $2 million or $3 million goalie to replace. So basically, we said, Carolina, we'll take yours, you take ours.
3.8, actually.
Yeah.
He's not a 3.8 goalie. He's not. I'm sorry, he's not.
Who is it?
Mrazek.
He's not that good?
No, he's better.
Oh, yeah. I think he is. I think he's better than Anderson.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah,
I'd take him over
100%,
Anderson any day of the week.
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely. But what I'm laughing at, too, is how does Colorado let their goalie walk, pay Langens, whatever his name is, too shy of whatever, their captain. Langenscock, I know he is. He's a great player, by the way. Great player.
I got that.
Yeah, great player. But you let your goalie – but this tells you something. I don't think that goalie was as good as people think he is.
That's what Jordan said.
Yeah,
I don't
think
think
so either.
he is.
But then they go out and get Darcy Kemper, who I think's a top 5, maybe top 10 goalie.
You're giving out numbers like they're giving out Swiss cheese at a cheese store. Bursis, he's top 10 here, he's top 5 here. You're the easiest going guy in the world, buddy. You'd be like a girl's dream on a first date. Oh my God!
I actually spoke to his girlfriend.
She's a 9. She's a 10. She's a 9. If you're on American Idol, everybody be getting the golden buzzer.
All right. Here we go for the last little bit. I just want to hear quick comments from you, Lucky. All right.
No.
Signing Maple Leafs. Michael Bunting. Yes or no?
Cinnamon bun out.
David Kempf. Okay, move on. Peter Mrazek.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Ape, let's go to Calgary. Obviously, what went on there?
Yeah.
Blake Coleman, 6 years, $4.9 million.
Well, we couldn't have used him in Toronto. No. We'd rather have fucking Marshmallow.
Hey, Montreal.
Right.
Montreal, David Savard, 4 year, $3.5 million.
What are all those players you're naming now? Coleman, Savard, what are they? Gritty, tough winners.
The one guy that a lot of people missed out on, and I like it. I know he's got a little bit of a quirky personality. I've met him with Santa Konopka on a couple of occasions. Mike Hoffman going to Montreal.
What a great signing. Goal scorer.
And $3.5 million.
Right. Why aren't we the ones saying, you know what, let's take a little bit of trouble. Let's be like the Raiders. Let's take that guy from New York Rangers that they booted out because he's got bad attitude. We need a bad attitude guy on our team. We don't have any of that.
We should have went after Michael Delzato.
Nah, Delzato's done. $2 million a year is a good deal for Ottawa. Okay. I would have went out. What's the guy's name? Almonte, whatever his name is. The guy that the Rangers let go, bought out. And Carolina picked up.
No, wasn't it?
Almont. What's it? I forget his name. He got kicked out because he got into a fight with a teammate. What's his name?
The guy that got thrown out of New York?
Tony DeAngelo, and it was a little more than a bad attitude. It was racism. It was fist fights with teammates.
Yeah, we need a bit of that in Toronto. We need some grit. We need a little bit of an attitude. If Montreal's got the balls to sign in a first round pick. What's this big uproar? I get what this kid did was wrong. He's 17 years old. He took a picture of a girl doing something to him, and he showed it to teammates. And they're making like, oh, this is the worst decision. He asked you not to draft. He's not mature enough. He admitted he made a mistake. He got fined $1,000.
Jordan, get the disclaimer up there. I don't want to get fired. Hey, listen.
No, I get it. It was bad.
Here's some good ones, Lucky.
You're willing to draft him, but they still took him.
Lucky in 3 minutes. Here we go.
Yeah.
Halak. Let's go through the Vancouver signings. Okay. Halak.
Yes.
Nick Petan.
I love him.
Luke Shen. Hey, 2 year, $850,000.
I wouldn't have gave him $850.
Tucker Poolman, they took him away from Winnipeg.
Yeah, it's good. You're happy there. And a box of popcorn, I heard.
Let's go to Winnipeg. Nate Smith.
Good signing. He's a solid player. So Toronto couldn't do use. So we don't need Smith. No.
Smith's so good. Who Toronto could have used? A lot of teams could have used? Brendan Dillon.
Yeah. There's a lot of players. Like, how does all those defensemen go and we don't have in one of them? Why can't we give up Nylander? Because of a stupid promise you made? This is business, dude. You never make a promise like that, or you give the player a no-trade clause. You don't make him a promise. Nylander's killing us.
Yeah, listen, Lucky, we're going to get you back in a week.
We always going to get you back. I don't know if they're going to let me back. What's that? Hang on a second. Can I get another weekend pass next week?
I love
on the show? Okay, yeah. I'm allowed
out. Your passion. I don't necessarily agree with everything you said.
I know.
But you don't agree with everything I say, and Jordan certainly never agrees with me.
Right.
But I want to hear in a week. I think 1 week's time.
It's not going to matter.
I think it'll all play itself out.
What's going to play out? Toronto's is in this smoke screen. Honestly, Dubas looks like he's managing a YMCA.
Okay,
seriously.
let me add. Well, of course,
he just lowered the membership fee, and he thinks he's got. This guy brought in nothing because we have nothing. When you commit, let's go through it just quickly, okay? Tavares, $11 million. Matthews, $12 million. Marner, 10 million. Nylander, 7 million. Okay, so there's 4 guys. And if I do the math somewhat correctly, we're into about 37 million. What's the cap? 80?
82.
Yeah,
81
so we're almost half the cap in 4 guys. 2 of the guys aren't worth a cap. Not even worth a bottle cap. So I'd be like giving Tavares a no trade clause was the dumbest thing Toronto ever did, because you knew he couldn't skate before he got here. Yeah, he's got great hands, but he's got to play with great players. They didn't win in Long Island. Long Island are doing better without him. So I'm not trying to pick on Johnny, but Johnny's a great person. He really is. I've known him. He's got a heart of gold. You're a really good guy. But we're talking business here, as they said on The Godfather. This is business.
If you don't mind me saying, because I got a very good friend in Thunder Bay. His name's Kerry Stevens, huge Islander fan.
Yeah.
And when JT came to Toronto, I wrote him and said, "Wow, what a big loss." And he said, "It isn't.
It isn't."
And he's a huge Islander fan.
It wasn't, though. We had a chance to do something with that money. We were so hell-bent on getting Tavares. We went into that stupid mixer down in L.A., and Dubas with his little numbers, and he's Shanny there, and they all went through it. And I can't even believe Stevie Y went down there to try to talk this lump into. And the thing is, Johnny, 2-year deal, 3-year deal, $35 million. Yeah, let's try it out. 7 years. We're not even into what? This will be his 4th year now?
Yep.
Am I right there, Jordan?
I think so.
Right. So we've got 3 years. You wait till next year and the year after and the year after that when we're at $11 million and that guy's skating at 0.3 kilometers an hour.
All right, Lucky. Final word for you.
My final word is this. Go Jays.
Ladies and gentlemen, always a pleasure to have the most optimistic weekend on
Seriously,
the planet.
I'm fed up.
See you, Lucky.
Every year, same crap.
Don't cut the trees. Do not cut those trees. Oh, I'm tired. I gotta go take a shower.
That might have been Lucky's best episode.
Yeah, and he's had a few. I can't believe he's not pulling out the lotto tickets.
Yeah, I know.
Where are the lotto tickets? All right, buddy. Hey, that was a great show. Loved it. Obviously, breaking it down. I know that Rosie, we can't wait till you're back. Of course, we'll see you on Saturday for the roundtable. Always a pleasure what you do for us, Jordan. Thank you for taking care of the keys behind it. Today, I didn't even push any buttons.
I mean, that was impressive. I think you pushed one or two.
Yeah, I had to screw up once. All right, buddy. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. Hey, listen, the Rosen Report. I'm not Rosie. I'm the Gooch. Thank you for joining us. Loved Lucky being on the show today. Passion over passion. And he's a Leafs fan, I'll tell you what. And he's selling his house and throwing the car out, putting the dog into a kennel, and he's moving. You know where he's going? He's going to Winnipeg because the Winnipeg Jets will win the Stanley Cup before the Toronto Maple Leafs. Lucky, $100 bet. We're done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the Rosen Report. We'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget, at 4 p.m., Gooch Live, we'll be talking all the breakdown, all what's going on. And I'm happy with what the Winnipeg Jets did. And I know Jordan will break down what went on in New York Rangers. Hey, thank you for joining us. You've been watching the Rosen Report, brought to you by those good people at Gooch Live Productions, Hockey News, and Sports Illustrated.
You've been listening to the Rosen Report, sports like never before, with your host, Rosie. Brought to you by Gouche Live and Paramount Sports Management.